Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back to It's Not a Podcast. It's just my thoughts with Markman. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Like, subscribe, comment. We have community memberships and a monthly membership club. If you're on desktop, hit the join button right under the video. If you want to join that, you can check that out, man. We have a good time every week. For the monthly music membership club, we have our own Discord where we talk all day about hip hop and kind of share and support each other and joke and laugh and have some serious discussion. And then every Sunday we have a live stream that's just us. We all get on camera. Each week one of us picks an album to talk about amongst the other ones, and then we just kind of talk about hip hop news of the week. This week we're going to be discussing Scarface's The Fix with the rest of the monthly music club members. So if you want to join, hit the join button. I think it's only on desktop. You hit the join button right under the video, man. You'll join right on up. So, but shout out to y'all who are supporting, however y'all supporting. I appreciate it all. Want to shout out Doechii. Big topic this week, man. I seen some things this week and just lately from Doechii. I've been a Doechii fan, but I've seen some things, this weekend as a hip hop fan, as a fan of Doechii, just makes me smile. Makes me smile. If you look online, at least, though, people are calling her an industry plant. There's a lot of hate, and I don't know how much of that hate is in real life, but you see it online. It's a lot of it. So, I want to talk today about Doechii. I want to talk today about the term industry plant, all right? So my take on the term industry plant is this, man. It's bullshit. It's really just like the Illuminati charges. When someone gets too successful, and it's like, oh, they're in the Illuminati. Like you need something, some mystical, undefined something to explain their success. It's really just code to explain the success of someone you may not like. And when it comes to industry plant, the term industry plant is almost a catch-22. When an artist is signed that we like, right? We like an artist and they're signed to a label and things don't work out the way that fans expect, we blame the label. The label didn't know what to do with that artist. The label failed the artist. The label didn't know how to work that project. You hear that a lot. Let's take someone, for example, and I hate to shout somebody out because I think she's successful. She's proven to have a career past her major label contract. But somebody like Doechii, for example, you see that come up a lot, right? And Doechii had a lot of success with Nasty last year. Amazing talent. But maybe didn't have all the success that people hoped when she was signed to, I think it was RCA. The label failed her. The label doesn't know how to work this. The label doesn't. So the label gets blamed for not being successful with an artist, which could be true. Like valid for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you're with the wrong label. Sometimes you have the wrong team. Sometimes the timing is just wrong. So I get that valid criticism, right? But when the label is working, when the team is working effectively, marketing, promoting talent, people say industry plant. And people say the success is inorganic, and particularly for an artist that they don't like or they don't understand. Here's the thing. Most of the music that we love, the success of most of that music is quote unquote inorganic. Music is marketed to you. All of these major labels have huge and experienced marketing departments. So anything that is popular, anything that you hear on the radio, especially, there's radio promotion departments. There's a certain marketing behind that record, behind those artists, and even on streaming, you got to think about it as well. Like pitching for playlists and pitching for placement. And yes, and I know people who work at streaming, the data, helps informs those editorial decisions. Who gets on the playlist? Who gets the cover of a playlist? Who new releases, where they're placed. Like the data by large helps to inform that, but it's all marketing. How do you get the data up? How do you get the numbers up? Marketing. Even a lot of indie artists, a lot of unsigned indie artists who are successful are effective with certain marketing techniques, like buying targeted ads on Facebook, on Instagram, or whatever platform. You target ads for your song, for your video, with a certain demographic that you feel like is gonna like your music to increase the visibility. Has to be marketing. Um, very little of it. I'm not saying organic doesn't exist, but by and large, the vast majority of what we see, the popular music, is marketed. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. It has to be. What I mean, what's the number now? And I might be wrong. 100,000 new songs a day on Spotify. How does the proverbial cream rise to the top? How do you get the ones to be the most popular if everybody's releasing music? There's so much music you have to compete with. A lot of money spent on marketing. So, this perception of, oh, this is organic, this is inorganic, is kind of skewed because most of the things that you like, your favorite artist, I promise you, your favorite artist has a marketing campaign behind them 9 times out of 10, unless your favorite artist is somebody like obscure that with some form of popularity, there is marketing. So this thing of, and when we go to Doechii, inorganic is just like, come on. So over the weekend, Lauryn Hill brought out Doechii at the Jazz in the Garden Music Festival in Miami. They performed doo-wop together. Doechii did the second verse. There's clips online. I'm playing them. No sound though. I'm not trying to get clipped here. Her and Miss Milan, her DJ Miss Milan, but who's also a producer, and they're actually like friends in real life, genuine friends. They did "The Nile is a River" together. So Doechii got up there and got to stage, was invited to share the stage with Miss Lauryn Hill, and that was dope to see. Also, Samara Sin, who is another dope artist, Foggy Raw, dope new artist, will call up to the stage too. So shout out to Lauryn. But it made sense that Doechii was up there, and particularly because she won Rap Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards for Alligator Bites Never Heal. She was the third woman to do that. Cardi B was the second for Invasion of Privacy. And when the Fugees won as a group for The Score, of course, Lauryn was a part of the Fugees, a major part of the Fugees. So 3 women have won that award in the past. Doechii was the third. So that's the connectivity between Lauryn, Miss Lauryn Hill, and Doechii. And then most, probably more important than the Grammy connectivity, Lauryn does what she wants. She does what she wants. Like, who's gonna tell Lauryn what to do if Lauryn don't want to do it? She don't need a reason. She wanted to have these artists up on stage. Doechii was one of them. And I saw Doechii and Miss Milan. They did a Hot One Versus. I think that dropped like Friday or something. Again, I fuck with their camaraderie. The relationship between rappers and their DJ is core to music, core to hip hop. And I feel like we see it so much back in the day. We don't see it as much anymore. Look, you had Eric B and Rakim. You had DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Run DMC and Jam Master Jay. That's just some examples. And I feel like we don't see it as much these days. So I love seeing Doechii and Miss Milan together. It's dope to see. Whole video was just wholesome content to me. It was just funny. And then, but the part that went viral was when they were talking about dating red flags, and Doechii said a straight man is her dating red flag. A whole bunch of people online lost their mind, and because I think everything that she does now there's a visceral reaction to it by the ones that oppose her, the ones who aren't fans. And it seems like every day is something, and I'm just like, who really gives a fuck about her preference? And the other thing is, if you listen to "The Nile is a River," she has the line where she's talking about she's dating somebody and found out dude was on the DL, somehow, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's also a callback to the song, which may have happened in real life. So when she says, "Hey, a straight man is a red flag for me for dating," I mean, I took it as a joke. I took it as an extension of "The Nile is a River," maybe rooted in her real life for sure, possibly, and maybe her preference, or at least her preference at the moment. Who knows? And it was funny, and we moved on. It just feels like people just want to look for reasons to hate this girl. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. But my timeline on social media was a response of people making it a thing. Also saw a Nike commercial or a content video this weekend where she's running down her accolades. So she's getting a lot. She won Billboard's Woman of the Year, and she was named Billboard's Woman of the Year. And a couple of years ago, I think in 2023, she won a Billboard Women in Rising Music Award or Music Rising Award or something like that. It was Music Rising Star Award. That's what it was. Billboard's Women in Music and a Rising Star Award in 2023. So, it's not like Billboard just came out of nowhere and started fucking with her. In 2023, Billboard gave her a Rising Star Award. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just didn't drop out of nowhere. Look, so there's a couple of things. I feel like sometimes there's hate that we just see online, and again, too, I emphasize online because I don't know if this happens in real life. I don't know how many people I come across who just like don't really fuck with her or care enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously there's people who haven't heard of her and just like, oh, I haven't heard of her, but it's not like this visceral reaction that I seen in real life. But online people throw around words like industry plant, like I said, and the truth is she's been grinding. This is particular Doechii been grinding for a long time, and all these wins are a result of talent, because she's clearly talented. If you look at her and don't see talent, it says more about you. But result of talent, years of work, like, hey, what didn't work, what worked for us, what didn't work for us, like finding yourself, finding your space, and then having a great team. And I personally feel like I didn't see a lot of this online push against her until after Kendrick posted that she was the hardest out in October of last year on his IG stories. I feel like that's when I started to see the rise in the hate. And I could be wrong, but that's me. That's my opinion. That's personally where I saw, the rise is after Kendrick said, yo, she's the hardest out, which then ties this back to Drake versus Kendrick. In my video before, how I said the fandom after that battle has just been terrible. It's just been terrible. I first heard of Doechii personally after she went viral on TikTok with Yucky Blucky Fruitcake. So that song came out in 2020. It may have hit my radar in 2021. It may have took a couple of months. I think it came out like late 2020, and in 2021 it had hit mine and my team's radar. I talk about this often. For those who don't know, I work at Genius, and I have going on 10 years. And the team that I manage is the team that works on our original YouTube series, Verified, with the yellow background, open mic. I'm a co-creator of Verified. You know what I'm saying? That we made in 2016, and my team that I manage, we decide who to book for the channel and when, and we go out there and execute it. So we had Doechii on. We published that episode in May 2021. For Yucky Blucky Fruitcake, she's breaking down the lyrics. That means we probably shot it in April. That means we were probably talking about it since February or March. And this was a remote episode over Zoom too. This was like right after coming out of the COVID lockdown. So we were still doing like remote and Zoom shoots. But I say all that to say, so we're going back to 2021. That's 4 years ago. When we booked it, she wasn't pitched to us by a publicist or by anyone. It wasn't pitched to us. It wasn't like an inbound request. Hey, can we have our artist on Genius? We sought her out. We saw how the record was moving. We liked the record, and the team sought her out. I think maybe looked at her Instagram or her TikTok, and maybe there was an email on there or something like that. I forget exactly how we did it, but we sought her out. We didn't go through TDE. We didn't speak to anybody at TDE. TDE wasn't involved in anything having to do with that shoot. The news of her signing to TDE, and then, because TDE is independent technically, and then also signing to Capitol, which is the major label component of all this, came a year later, came in 2022. So at this point, we're not working with TDE. She wasn't pitched to us. It wasn't planted. You know what I'm saying? It was a record that we saw and we liked, and we reached out and said, yo, we want to fuck with this record. We want to fuck with this artist. What's up? Probably had her on the channel 4 or 5 times after that. She dropped a record called Booty Drop. And then Alter Ego with JT. I remember trying to get her. I felt like we tried to get her for What It Is, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the timing didn't work. But Booty Drop, Alter Ego. We did a Verified on The Nile is a River right after Alligator Bites Never Heal dropped. And remember, what was being pushed then wasn't The Nile. Again, that was just a song that the team ended up liking. Like Nissan Altima and Boom Bap were the ones that were being pushed as soon as the project came out. I forget how we landed on Denial, but we liked it. So this is right after Alligator Bites Never Heals dropped, and then we did the open mic with her and Issa Rae. And we pitched that to them as well. We pitched that to her team over at TDE to do that open mic. Actually, I think it was pitched to Doechii directly from my man Andres. Shout out Andres Dardio, who used to work on the team. So I say all this to illustrate, like, it's not planted. Like I know from working at Genius, we have reached out to her prior to the deal and during the deal. There's still ideas. Hey, we want to work with her. Hey, we have this idea because we like her. We're fans. We're reaching out proactively, and I'm sure at this point in her career, she's also getting pitched for stuff. That's how it works. We get pitched for all types of artists, but we're reaching out as well. And then I'm saying we're not the only ones. I'm sure Billboard is reaching out. I'm sure Rolling Stone is reaching out. So that's the way pitching works in the media. Like, you get inbound requests, and then there's you send outbound requests, and it's the exchange of that. So, it's probably a mix. Nobody is being forced to cover Doechii. You know what I'm saying? I think people are genuinely covering Doechii because people like Doechii. Like, very clear to me. I don't think there's nothing nefarious here. But the point being, though, is that there's also growth with her. Like, she just didn't pop up out of nowhere. This has been going on for years. There was TikTok years and the independent grind. Then she signed with TDE and Capitol as a major label partner. Again, I said 2022. It didn't pop off like that in 2022. There was years of figuring it out. There was she dropped the EP. It was she/her Black Bitch. That was the EP. She had a joint with Rico Nasty on there, who Rico at the time is a little more established, definitely more established than Doechii is. It had a song called Swamp Bitches. And she had Persuasive. That she had the remix of Persuasive with SZA. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense, right? Like, and this is 2022. Like, all right, we're TDE. We got this new artist. The song Persuasive is moving. Okay, let's get our biggest artist on it. SZA at the time. Kendrick is still with the label at that time. So, but let's get one of our biggest artists. Let's pair them with Doechii. Let's try to make a hit. Labels do this all the time. It's called good strategy. And Persuasive was a dope record, and Persuasive definitely took Doechii up a couple of notches. But again, it wasn't like, boom, Grammy nomination, boom, magazine covers, boom, like media darling, boom, on stage with Lauryn Hill after Persuasive. No, you still grinding it out brick by brick. Then there was a string of singles, What It Is, which sampled or had elements of Trillville, some cut. Then you had the remix with Kodak. Again, it's good strategy. I got a record that's moving. Who's a hot rapper? You know what I'm saying? I'm from Florida. Okay. And it felt like an early 2000s type of collaboration where you get this R&B record and you put a rap on it. So now they got Kodak. This is 2023. Again, building a brick, figuring it out. Now that's a radio hit. Now that's a Billboard hit, right? But it's not top 10, not even top 20. Like they I think it capped out at like 30 or 29 or something on Billboard. So you figuring it out. Then she did it was Universal Swamp Anthem, which was inspired by UGK, International Players Anthem, right? There's a lot of dropping and figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And the fans have been following it. Those who have been fans have been following it. She opened up with Doja Cat on the Scarlet Tour in 2023. I mean, she was out so early, it was before most of the fans were there. It was her, it was Ice Spice, and then it was Doja. And I remember going to Brooklyn and just couldn't, at Barclays Center, and I missed all the openers just because the security line was so long. I was trying to get there in time to see the openers. The security line to get in was so long by the time you get in. So most fans couldn't even get in, even if they wanted to see her open it. So you're grinding it out, performing to maybe a half-filled arena, maybe a quarter-filled, maybe less than that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the crowd looked like when she was on stage, but that's part of the grind. If you work in the music business, you know part of the grind. Hey, I'm going to be an opener on this big tour, and it's not going to be glamorous. That's the part that people don't see. Then after that, these are the steps that you take to build an artist. Then after that, there was Booty Drop. Then there was Alter Ego with JT in 2024. Then in August 2024, we get Alligator Bites Never Heal. I dropped the video on this channel a couple of days after Alligator Bites Never Heal dropped because the project was fucking dope. Nobody hit me. Nobody from TDE hit me and said, yo, can you do this video? Yo, can you cover this on Genius? Yo, I just heard the project. I'm like, yo, this project is dope. And I talked about it. There were music videos for Nissan Altima. There's a music video that comes for Denial is a River. She dropped a dope project. She sold, I think, 11,000 in her first week, or the streaming equivalents. She dropped a dope project. The numbers didn't go crazy at first. And her team believed in her. She believed in her art. And they continued to work it like you're supposed to do. It sounds like an old school method to me of working records. People are so used to first week sales numbers dictating everything. What if you need more than a week? Imagine if Bad Boy Arista, you know what Biggie Smalls, you know what Ready to Die did in his first week? It did 57,000 in the first week. What if Bad Boy and Arista say, yo, this is not enough? Let's dump this. Let's not work this. Ready to Die. One of the most classic albums. I think it might be triple platinum now. Imagine if Columbia Records gives up on Nas after he did 59,000 in his first week for Illmatic. Then we don't get Nas' career. There was this old school mentality. That first week number is a relatively new phenomenon. Like, the old school mentality was like, yo, you worked the record, you worked several singles, you worked an album until you figured it out. Now, obviously, everything didn't work, but also, obviously, not everything was a hit out the gate. So, to me, with Doechii, they took an old school approach to it and didn't let the first week numbers dictate how they were going to proceed to work this album. Then you start to see things, man. Doechii goes on Tiny Desk, kills it. We did that Genius open mic with her and Issa Rae, killed it. She was nominated for a Grammy in December and won because she worked for that shit. Grammys is an award that's voted on by Academy members. It's voted on. So what happens when you have a vote, an election? What do politicians do? They campaign. Guess what? Artists do the same thing. You know how many emails I get from labels? And the headline it's during the voting period of the Grammys. And I'm not even a voting member. But I'm in the media, I'm in the press. And the headline of all these emails from all these labels for all these artists says, for your Grammy consideration, for Grammy consideration, for Grammy consideration. And they're campaigning to keep their artists front of mind, for media to shine a light on them, and for Grammy voting members to then keep them front of mind when it's time to vote. The whole industry does this. Every record label does this. I promise you. What did Doechii do? Did I get an email like that from Doechii? I don't remember. But during that time, she's nominated for the Grammy, and she's out there working. She's out there visible. She's out there believing and supporting her music, and the label is doing the same. You know what I'm saying? And she wins the award. So, my whole thing is this is for the people that believe that she popped out of nowhere. Maybe you just wasn't paying attention. To believe that these things aren't deserved, like, maybe these things are, she's working for it. They could have quit after 11 weeks. The label could have said, fuck that. We quit. Capitol could have said, we quit. 11,000 the first week, we're moving on. They believed in her and they worked the record. That's when this thing works. That's when this is what you sign to a major for. This is for that support, for that team. Hey, I have the good music. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to try the different records to see what works, what doesn't work during the years. But you sign for that support. You sign for that team behind you. You sign for that muscle. So the industry plant thing, I don't get. This is the music business. This is how it's supposed to work. That's that, man. Those are just my thoughts on it, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm gonna stop it right there. I feel like I went on longer than I intended to. All right. Till next time. Peace.